Hi everyone, in this tutorial I am going to show you how I make these cute tails down bows. They are very cute to make them. I am going to be showing you just how to make the loops, the bottom ones and the top ones. They are very easy to make. And then I'll be making a separate tutorial to show you how I make my spikes, my lace puffs, my tulle puffs, and any other extras that I add on to my bows. You can make them any size. Any length that you like. I think this was my second one that I ever made. But yeah, this one I think is like 11 inches. I've also made smaller ones, just really tiny ones that was recently in an auction over at the Ribbon Rockstars page. It's a tiny one, and here's another one that I just got done making yesterday. It's really colorful. The colors are just so fun, and they're so, like I said, they're so easy to make. There's really not much to it. I really haven't seen any other tutorials of how I do mine, so, yeah. Anyways, this one is, I believe, 13 inches or 12 inches, something like that. And yeah, they're, like I said, they're really fun. Okay, you can make them with any size of ribbon. You can use 3/8, 5/8, 7/8, 1.5. Really any. I haven't tried with anything bigger than that. But this is 1.5, and this is 3/8. This is going to be a Halloween bow, and you can use any print. Pretty much that you like. This one I use some print, and I mix solids for the 1.5. Just make it a cute, cheerful, girly Halloween bow. But yeah. Anyways, you're gonna need for this tutorial you're gonna need scissors to cut out your ribbon, and as you can see it says do not touch, because my kids and my husband like to touch my scissors, and that's a big no, so I had to put don't touch. You're gonna need a lighter and needle and thread. I use upholstery because it doesn't matter how much you pull on it, it will not break on you. You're also gonna need 8 pieces of 7/8 ribbon. One for your top loops and one for your bottom ones. This is for the top one that goes in the inside. You're gonna need 26 inches for the bow that goes inside, and you're gonna need about between 28 and hold on, give me a minute. Between 28 and 32 inches for your outside loops, depending on how long you want them. You can make them shorter. You don't necessarily have to use my measurements. You can make them shorter or longer. It's up to you, but for this tutorial, for the purpose of this tutorial, that's how many inches I'm using for each. Okay, anyways. These, I don't know if I mentioned it already, but I'm going to use 8 different ribbons, solids and prints, and I'm just going to mix it up. This is going to be a Christmas bow, so I'm using the little gingerbread girls. Okay, so once you have chosen your 8 pieces of ribbon that you want, you are going to stack them on top of one another. depending on how, you know, which ones you want to be your for your inside loops and for your outside loops. I'm sorry. This is gonna be for my inside loops. So I stack them on top of one another. My first 4 strips. I stack them, and I make sure that they're all facing the right way. So when I make my loops, they're okay. So when I that way when I make my loops, they're all facing the front. Okay, so now we're gonna grab all of our 4 pieces, and we're gonna fold them in half. Oh, and you don't have to worry too much about heat sealing them. You can if you want to, that way they don't fray anymore. But since we're going to be cutting them, you don't necessarily have to heat seal them. Okay, so we're going to fold them in half, and we're going to crease the middle. Okay, so now we turn it back, and you see, I don't know if you can really see the line. If you can't see it, you can always just grab a pen and then just, I don't have one available right now, but then just, you know, do the little line, you know, or just a little dot so you know where the middle is. Okay. Okay, so okay, and now we're gonna make our loops. Your girls, if you're gonna use print like this that has, you know, little characters or anything like that, and you want them to be facing the right way, they have to be standing up and facing away from you, of course, you know, to make the loops. That way when we make them, they'll be facing the right way, like that. I don't know if you can see it very well, but like that. Okay, anyways, so now to make our first loop, we'll hold the middle, and about I don't know, about a little bit less than halfway of our first half, we'll grab it, and we're gonna bring it inside, just as if we were making just, you know, a regular twisted boutique bow, except that, of course, it's not a complete boutique bow. I mean, twisted boutique bow is gonna be just half of it with the 2 loops, just like that. So let's do it again. Grab the ribbon and bring it towards the middle, like that. There's our first loop and our tails. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. We're going to grab our ribbon and we're going to bring it towards the middle. Just like that. Okay, and there's our tails. They don't necessarily have to be even, because you're gonna be cutting them, but you can try to get them as even as possible just by pulling on your loops, or just, you know, taking your loops apart again and redoing it. Like I said, it doesn't really matter because they're going to be cut either way. Okay, so we go to our loops and we pull on them to see if they're even. Okay, so when you have your, you know, your loops and the size you like, you will take our needle and thread, and we'll find the middle of our loops about... See, about right there. Oh, she did. Okay, sorry, my kids are awake, so. Okay, so now we're gonna push it down, up, down again, and this is where I try to fix my loops, I try to pull them inside a little bit more, make them a little bit tighter so I can give them that cute, what's it called, shape to them. And then once I'm done, I push my needle through, like that. You see? And there's our loops. Okay. Okay. Sorry, my kids are in the living room now, so they're making a mess and lots of noise. Anyways, once we stitch it, we push our center together so we can. So we're gonna push our needle through. Okay. Sorry, I had to. Okay, so we're gonna pull our needle through. Okay, and you can cut the excess here, like I left a little excess after making the little knot. Okay, so now you wrap your thread around your bow a few times just to ensure it will not come undone, and you pull on it. I never cut my okay, so when you're done pulling it and fixing your loops the way you want them to look, after you pull on them and make them look nice and even, or nice and even as possible as you can make them, you go to the back and you tie a knot. I know a lot of people do this, tie the knot on the thread before they start shaping them, but I don't like to do that in case I mess up and I have to go and wrap my thread around my bow again to give it that shape. So I do it at the end after I'm done shaping it. You just have to make sure that your bow is, you wrap your ribbon, your thread around your ribbon pretty tight so it won't get loose. And we do a little knot at the end, so we have them ready for our next loops. Okay, so there's the first set of loops. This is the one that's going to go in the inside, and they're not, even my tails, but it doesn't matter as I will be cutting them. Just don't have them be, like one extremely shorter than the other one, because then you'll have a problem. As long as they're, pretty close, you should be good. Okay, so that's our first tails, and now we're going to do our outside ones. I chose different colors for these ones. Oh, shoot. And they moved on me. Of course they did.
Stop, Pizza! That's enough! That's enough! It looks beautiful.
Okay.
Stop.
So, there's my 4. Okay, so we're going to grab our ribbon and fold it in half so we can do that little crease in the middle. And that way we know where our middle is. Okay. So we're going to fold it. They're really long, so it's a little bit hard to work with them and cooperate. Okay. So we just do the crease. And like I said, if you can't see the line, you can just put a little dot right there with the pen, and that way you know where the middle is. Since, it doesn't really matter since you're not going to be really seeing it by the time your loops are done, so, you can do that. I've done that sometimes too when I'm having a hard time. Okay, so now we're going to grab a ribbon. We're going to grab a ribbon, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go about halfway, and we're going to bring our loops inside. You have to keep in mind though that these loops have to be bigger. Okay, so they have to be bigger. So you know, just pulling them a little bit more after you make your loop, because you know, the inside loop has to fit in there, and there has to be just a little bit room where you can make it snug and not make them, you know, too big, just like that. It's really up to you. Okay, so now we go to the other side. We do the same thing. Bring our loop inside, just like a twisted boutique bow, and like that. Okay, let's do it again. Grab our loop, we bring it inside. Okay. Our loops they're not too awfully bad, but yeah. So now we grab the middle and we pull on our loops to see if they are even. And it looks like they are. Okay. Sorry, I just gotta fix them a little. Oops. Okay. Trying to fix my loops so my tails are pretty even. Okay. Alright, they look like they're even. Okay, so once they are nice and even, or pretty close to being even, we grab our needle and thread, and we do the same thing as we did with our first loops. We find the middle, and we push a needle through. We go down. We're going to go up. We're going to go down again. Okay. I'm going to fix my loops a little bit so my loops are nice and perky. I'm going to go up again. Okay. You see?